Welcome back to European Study Talk tonight. Because internationalism, more and more schools are offering all English top programs, even they are in a non-English speaking countries. And I think Jakob University would be a great example in Germany. And tonight we have Peter from Jakob University. He will introduce us more about the programs, application, and also probably some scholarship opportunity in Jakob University. That's welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Ceci. Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's a great pleasure to be here. Let me start the presentation. So my name is Peter. I'm the Recruitment and Admission Counselor for Jacobs University. Unfortunately, now I'm in Europe, but I actually used to live in Taiwan. And Taiwan is one of my favorite places in the world. So I'm very excited to be even virtually with you. So yeah, let me tell you a bit about my university. Jacobs University is the only English-speaking research university in Germany. So at many German universities, you can find a program or tour in English, but generally the rest will be in German. With Jacobs University, all programs are taught entirely in English. You don't need any German language for any of our programs. As a university, we are quite small. If you care about rankings, you can check us on Times Higher Education. Maybe what you can consider is that we are the #1 private university in Germany and the most international university in Germany. Every year, we also welcome several students from Taiwan. So there is also very nice Taiwanese community on campus. We're in the north part of Germany, in the center of Europe, actually. That makes it very nice for students also to use us as a base to explore the continent in Europe. And now with life returning to normalcy, basically more and more countries are now easing the COVID restrictions. So we have more or less back to normal kind of a situation. Travel is also now possible. So what you need to know about Jacobs, we are all English language university. We are residential university, so bachelor students, if you're interested in a bachelor degree, this means that you will also have to live on campus. I'll come to that in a bit. And for master students, we provide university housing, but it's not on campus. As a university, we have great professor to student ratio, one of the best actually in Germany, with about 18 students for one professor. And we incorporate mandatory internships in our curriculum because after graduation, you have the right to stay in Germany and it's easier to actually find a job if you have a mandatory internship. If you decide to study bachelor studies with us, in Germany, the degrees are 3 years and we are no exception. So the curriculum is 3 years and that's for the bachelor studies. The first year students can do more than one major. We are one of the few universities in Germany that allow actually students to choose between majors. The second year, they have to decide on major-minor combinations. And in the third year, they can do either study abroad or internship. For master studies, the programs are 2 years and they are fixed. So in the master studies, with the program you enter, you have to graduate with that program. You can't change majors. For the bachelor studies, that's possible. So what do we offer? We also offer foundation year program. The foundation year program would be suitable for students who are not sure what they want to study, who want to experiment a bit longer, or to have an easier transition from maybe, Mandarin speaking high school to English speaking university. If they want to have an easier transition, this could be a good option for them. For the bachelor studies, we offer 15 programs. They are in 3 different areas: in computer science, electrical engineering, in industrial engineering, robotics, and mathematics. And then in biochemistry, in pharmaceutical research, earth sciences, and physics as well. Finally, we also offer international business, economics, social sciences, international relations, and psychology. We have students from Taiwan in almost all our majors. So you can actually, if you're interested, you can also find on our Facebook or on our Instagram also students that study particular major, and you can also ask them about how they like their major as well. For the master studies, we offer 5 programs. 3 are related to data science and supply chain. So basically we have a program that is data science for society and business. This program focuses more on business and how to make smart decisions based on data. We have data engineering, which is artificial intelligence master program. And then we also have a production engineering and management program called supply chain management. We also offer psychology and international relations as master programs. For PhD programs, we do offer many of these, but they're very different, and we don't actively recruit for PhD programs. So if anyone is interested in PhD, probably you should check out the website directly for job openings. So what you can expect from the university, what I mentioned is the individual student guidance and mentoring by professors. All students are assigned to professors, and the professors guide them throughout their studies in terms of academics and also in terms of career planning. For example, very often professors might involve you in research or in industry projects, and through these industry projects you can get your internship or even your first job afterwards. We offer excellent exchange opportunities around the world. So if you decide to study with us, you will also have the option to explore the world with us. You can see some of our university partners. Generally, we don't limit the students where they go to study on their study abroad. However, we don't allow students to go back to their home countries. So if you come from Taiwan, it won't be possible for you to go back to Taiwan for study abroad. But we have excellent partners in the area as well. For example, in Singapore, we have NUS. In Japan, we have Ritsumeikan, and Korea, Yonsei. So we have good universities also in neighboring countries to Taiwan. We do offer mandatory internship programs for all our students. So we have a dedicated career service center, and the job of this career service center is not only to provide you with career with internship opportunities, but also to prepare you for career life. This happens through curriculum. For example, in curriculum, you will have essay writing, how to write a motivation letter, how to style your CV, how to behave at the interview, how to dress for success as well. So the Career Service Center also organizes career fairs on campus, and also we have our own job portals as well for companies to post their job offerings and internship offerings. This is just a small number of companies that you can see here, obviously very big names. The idea behind is that you can see what scale of companies we also work with. The university is, as I mentioned, the most international university in Germany. Usually here I will talk a lot about clubs and so on, but actually this time I want to mention how currently the teaching is done. So we have all classes back to in-person teaching. We don't have, and we don't plan anymore for online teaching. In effect, this means that all students are now back on campus, that all classes are in person, and social life is going back to normal. I mentioned this because last year was very tough on students. I think not just in Europe or in Germany or at Jakobs, but actually worldwide, because a lot of classes happened online. And we don't want to repeat this anymore. So we are back to in-person teaching. We offer single room accommodation for all undergraduate students. Students in their first year are guaranteed on campus housing. In the second year, they have the choice to stay on campus or to move off campus if they want to. And in the third year, we guarantee university housing, but it could be in one of the facilities that is a bit outside of the campus. So throughout your studies, you don't need to worry about housing if you want to stay with us. However, from the second year actually onwards, you'll have the choice to also move off campus if you want to. These are how the rooms look like. Basically, it's a single room accommodation with in a 2-bedroom setting. So 2 students share a bathroom. We're located in the city of Bremen, in the north part of Germany. And in terms of, Taipei has really excellent public transportation, quality of life, and so on. I just want to say Bremen is a bit similar. We're just much, much smaller. We're only 500,000 people, but you can find the same things like excellent public transportation, going out opportunities, eating, discovering, and so on. This is all kind of like a given also in Bremen. If you decide to apply to us, if you're a graduate student, the application is done through a different portal. But if you're an undergraduate student, you need to apply through the Common App. Generally, we require high school transcript, letters of recommendation, standardized testing, and I'll come to that in a bit. Proof of English, extracurricular activities, and also a letter of motivation. Generally, we have a holistic admissions approach, meaning that we don't look only into grades. However, we are quite selective. So we expect good grades, and they are also important for scholarships. If you decide to apply for us, you don't need to pay any fees. Application throughout the spectrum, so foundation, bachelor, and master studies is free of charge. If you come from the Taiwanese high school diploma, you're in luck because generally you don't need to take SAT if you have the Shuezi. I mispronounced it, so I asked kindly for the Mandarin writing as well. So if you meet this requirement of 53 points or better, you can apply directly without having to take additional testing. So no SAT is required. You can apply directly for any major. You're also not restricted to certain majors. If you don't have 53 points, or if you have less than that, you can still apply if you have SAT testing. And here I will go back for you to see what we are looking at. And if not, you can apply for the foundation year. So if you don't meet the general Taiwanese high school requirement, you have 2 streams, either through the foundation year or through SAT testing for direct admission. The proof of English, we also accept Duolingo, a proof of English of 110 as well. All right, so I mentioned that GPA is important, and this is important because we award scholarships for students. You can see our tuition, room and board, and pocket money advisory here. So the total cost of study will come to about 30,000 euro, 30,500 euro, which is about 32,000 US dollars. but we offer a lot of scholarships, financial aid, and additional help for students in order to mitigate the cost of tuition. So the cost of room and board is something we don't cover. So even if you have full scholarship, you still need to cover your room and board expenses with us. So how do you apply for scholarships? First, the scholarship award is based on a question in the Common App, whether you want to be considered for scholarship. If you say yes, we will automatically evaluate you for a scholarship. The scholarship could be 4, 6, or 8,000 euro, and it will be based on your GPA only. So if you have good GPA, you will get a good scholarship as well. Then we also offer a deferral program for students from Taiwan. This is limited to 9,000 euro. So you can benefit from our deferral program in the amount of 9,000 euro per year. This is similar to the governmental help that our government offers for German students. The idea is that we will cover part of your tuition when you study, but when you start working and when you start earning well, you will be able to pay back something to us. It's not a loan, so it's not like it increases every year, and if you don't pay, it just grows and grows. It's a fixed percentage, and the good thing about this is if you stay in Germany, it's tax deductible, and you will get it back from your taxes. And finally, we also offer need-based scholarship for students. So if the scholarship, the deferral program is not sufficient, you can also apply for a need-based scholarship. Through these through these three measures, we can ensure that we can cover about 80% of the tuition cost for Taiwanese students. So in effect, a Taiwanese student from a regular background is expected to pay about half of the total cost, of about 15 to 16,000 euro per year. And this will include tuition, room and board, so all living expenses and so on. In terms of what you can expect after graduation, basically after you graduate, you have excellent career opportunities in Germany. First, unlimited work permit. So just consider that like you graduate and you immediately have the same working rights as German and European citizens, meaning that if you like the country, if you want to stay there, it's very easy to find a job because the unemployment rate is very low, and also you have all the working rights, so the company doesn't need to sponsor you. They will only care about your skills. So if you bring the skills that they require, they can hire you without any administrative hurdles. Even if you don't have a job, you get the right to stay for 1.5 years in Germany just to look for a job. And once you find the job, you can stay for as long as you want. And you also have the right to go back to Germany to look for a job. So let's say you do your bachelor program in Germany, then you decide to do your master's in Taiwan, and then you want to go back to Germany to look for a job, then you will be issued again 6-month job search visa, with which you can go to Germany and look for a job. And this is something that our students make good use of. I mean, they're very mobile. So our students will look really for opportunities around the world. So for example, Benjamin is a very recent example. I think only in September, Yale University awarded him the professorship. But most of our students actually stay in Europe. I think about 60% of the students stay in Europe. Very many of them are in employment just a year after graduation, and they have very good employment statistics. For me, I think the most impressive one is that 40% of the students found their first job with less than 3 applications sent. I say this is impressive because when I started looking for a job after graduation, I come from a large public university. It took it took probably 100 applications to get the first job. And it's not because there are no jobs, but because I didn't know what I kind of like want to do. And I think in this sense, Jacobs University does really good job, because we kind of like guide our students, and during their studies, they take the necessary steps to be in the clear at the end what they want to do, like what's the next step. And I think when you know that, it's quite easy to find a job afterwards. Well, I think I'm done with my presentation. I try to keep it short, so to allow for questions. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the Q&A. You can find here, I mean, if you've already gave permission for us to receive your data, it's like we will receive it, and then you will receive a thank you note. For those of you who did not, maybe you want to, and if you have questions, you can see my email address at the bottom, so you can also write it down. And if you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer them. Okay, so there is one question, which is courses about German. So that's a good question. One of the things that we are very often asked is whether students, if there are provisions for German. And I would like to say that all students, it's mandatory, at least in the first year, to learn German. So all students will be enrolled in a German class in the first year. If the student wants to learn German, they should continue also in the second and in the third year. So at the end, when you graduate, you will have a level of German, which is B2. Basically, this is a working level of German. However, it's mandatory only in the first year. And this is all included into the package. So all language classes, all electives, double majors, single majors, and so on, this is all included into our fees. Does Jacobs University accept TOEFL My Best Score? Yes, we do. Basically, for us, it's important the overall score. And so if you have done more than once TOEFL, you can super score it also as well.
Yes, you mentioned the scholarship and financial aids. It's basically up to their GPA level, like GPA scores. What would be the like corresponding score of GPA? For example, if they are granted 4,000 euros, what would be the like average or minimum GPA to reach? Do you have
so basically for that for 4,000 euro, probably your GPA has to be around 80% of the 80%. There is one with regard to internships, any internships for graduate students. So maybe I will do something else here. I'll just tell you this, that students in Germany are allowed to work on campus and off campus as well. So basically, first, the internships are part of the curriculum, and for undergraduate students, they are mandatory. For graduate students, they are not mandatory, but since you have the right to work, so you can also work outside of the campus, you can do an internship. Most of our programs are very technical, so most of the graduate students that we have already work experience, and they just take them for acquiring, how to say, new or future-proof skills. So we don't have mandatory internships for graduate students, but our graduate students are welcome to work on the site, and very often they do that in software companies, in consultancies, and so on. So you can still acquire work experience while you study.
All right.
So there is one question about IELTS. If it's 6.5 overall, or it should be in each section 6.5 or better. For us, we only look into the overall section. So basically, even if in one section it's less than 6.5, it's okay if the total score is 6.5.
Yeah, you just mentioned the internship would be optional for graduate students. Is there any some important notes they may should be aware of? Like for example, the minimum or maximum hours they can work as a part-time job or internship, the minimum wages, and etc. etc. They should be take care of.
Yeah, thank you. That's actually a very good question. So there are rules. The rule is that you can work up to 240 half days, so 120 full days in jobs that are not connected to your studies. Mandatory internships or jobs that are directly connected with your studies are exempted from this rule. So if you have a special contract called student assistant, then there's no limitation to the work days a year. There is, however, a second limitation that during when you have university, so basically in our case from September until December, and then from February until May, when there are lectures and seminars, you are not allowed to work more than 20 hours. Because I mean, you can work, no one's gonna say anything, but the moment you work more than 20 hours, then you have to pay full tax. You're no longer then considered a student for tax purposes, but you are considered employee, and then the tax is very heavy on you. So basically most students will work up to 20 hours. And this is not just for international students, this applies also to German students. Also, German students are not allowed to work. I mean, again, technically, no one cares. It's just that the moment you work more than 20 hours per week, you get taxed in a different way.
Right. And I think it's the same as their visa entry.
One thing maybe to mention, there is a German embassy in Taipei, and we don't have any problems with visas there. Generally, they are quite efficient. The problem sometimes is that there are no appointments, but that's something that has to do with the capacity. Once you come to Germany, you will also get a residence permit. So you will exchange your student visa for a proper residence permit. The residence permit gives you a lot of rights, among others, for example, to travel around Europe. You can even reside in other European countries and can do your internship in other European countries for up to 3 months. So let's say if you have found in the summer an internship in Spain, you can also go and do without having to apply for additional permits and so on.
Yeah, we have a next one. It's regarding like as an international student or as an Asian foreign student to study in Germany. Do you think how hard or what would be the biggest challenge for them to find a say internship or full career job after graduation?
Well, we have a lot of Asian students. When you see the statistics and you see the companies, they also include Asian students as well. Generally, we don't have any problem. What we see sometimes, however, with Asian students, especially Chinese and Japanese students, is that they want to return back home after graduation. So they kind of want to do their internship in their home country. So a lot of our Chinese or Japanese students go back to their home country to do the internship because they feel it will be a stepping stone to returning back home for working afterwards. This really depends on how you feel about. So some students immediately say like, oh, I love it here, I want to stay here. And that's a good thing about Germany. Germany allows you to do that. So you don't need to go to Germany with the idea like, oh, I might not be able to stay.
Right.
But if you if your idea is that you want an international study experience and then return to your home country, you can also do your internship at home. But generally, we don't have problems with students doing the internships in Germany.
I see. Yeah, like, do you have any tips for people who are looking for probably a position or an internship in a big name company in Germany? Like, they should improve their German ability, or it would be their professional expertise matters.
So basically, I would say, like especially big name companies, what they are very specific about, they are very specific about the skills that the people have to bring into the company, because they know that they attract very talented people. So they have a huge pool of applicants. This is the same for like if you apply to super selective universities. So you have to have like you really have to read what they want and then style your application to kind of like match what they want. So for example, if they require a junior position for like JavaScript development or whatever, but you don't know this programming language, it makes very little sense to apply, because probably there are another 10 people who do know this language. Unless you're, I honestly don't know. I'm not an HR person, so I wouldn't know, but this is what I would imagine.
Right.
So there is one question about someone applying with German.
Right.
We will not be the right place. If you want to study in German, we are not the right place. We offer only English language programs. But if you speak German, there are 422 other universities that teach in German. So you can easily find also programs in German language at other universities, but we teach in English only. How could we connect with students from Taiwan in Jacobs University now? Basically, we have also an agent in Taiwan, and she will do. I think she does a presentation with her students actually in Taiwan on the 29th of October. If anyone is like her students, I mean the students that she brought to Jacobs University and who are now graduated. I think one went to Oxford, one is, I think, back in Taiwan for some. So she does a panel. The other way is really the easiest way is probably to go on Facebook and then see like I guess there you can kind of like connect with the people from Taiwan, or you can write me an email and then I will ask Taiwanese students to connect you back so that they this would be the way. We have also a platform where students can chat, like prospective students can chat with current students, but I'm not sure if we have any Taiwanese student currently there. So that's something.
Yeah, it's actually on University's website. I know you offer some like chat opportunity
Mhm.
that you can choose, that you can see the background of the student, and you can find out what
Exactly.
the program or the degree you are searching for, and you can talk to them, ask them some question, and they will try to reply to you either by message or else by email.
Exactly. This is a TOEFL is just a requirement. A good TOEFL score, if you have like 112 in TOEFL, I like whoever reads the application will say, yeah, great. But this is just a requirement, so it doesn't tell us if more than that you speak well English. um, it's a plus if it's good, but it's not a minus if it's, let's say, 90. If it's 90, we'll just say, okay, you meet the requirement, it's fine.
All right. But speaking of the say the application requirement, what would be the focus when the school is evaluating all the application? Would it be their GPA score? Would it be their language, or would it be like
Mm,
overall overview of the review of the student's application?
Maybe that's because we don't have so much time. I'll very briefly explain. Most universities that have holistic admission will go into an application like this. First, they will look into the grades. The grades will tell us, can you handle academic workload? And would you be able to handle also our academic workload at the university? So that's the first thing. If we decide yes, we will move then to the next one where we will check, for example, your writing. This will tell us, for example, what's important to you, how you how you feel about certain topics, how is your English. Extracurricular activities will give us an idea what you do in your free time and how this connects to what we offer. For example, if you like last year, for some reason, I read about 5 applications from competitive equestrian riders, like people on horses, like who do that as a sport. Then I was like, why would someone want to come to us when we don't even offer that? And they obviously want to continue to do competitively this. But then I found out that very close to the university, there is actually a very good sport club that offers that. So these are the kind of things that we will look into, like how your application connects with what we offer. So as long as your academics are good and you offer like a good explanation why we are the right place for you, I think it's quite. We won't mind. We don't reject students just because we want to reject someone. Yeah, I wanted to say, I don't know how is, but I think I have now no longer time, right? This is.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if you wanna elaborate more on the application, very simple. How long should I wait for the results, and then like you say, is there any like interview for every program application, or will be the progress for the student?
So when you apply, we will read the entire application and we read every single file. So we read every single application. Then we write our notes. Then we send it to a second reviewer, and then the second reviewer reads and writes, and then the head of admission takes the final decision. The whole process, we don't do interviews, so we won't do an application interview. However, students are most welcome to schedule an admission talk. So if they want to prepare better for the application. After the application is submitted and evaluated, it takes about 2 weeks for us to communicate the decision. So someone applying on, let's say, November 1st, they will get their decision by mid to second part of November. Then the students will be given a certain time to say yes or no to the offer. Generally, we advise students to apply early. We are not like with the German public universities. Usually you have to apply with your final grades. With us, you can also apply with predicted grades. So for example, you can apply even before your Schweiz is out, so before your examination is out. And then in the condition, if you get admitted, it will state like, okay, your condition is that you have 53 points. So once you meet your condition, that's all fine. Like you keep your offer.
Does that mean like Jakob also offer like unconditional offer?
Exactly. So we offer usually conditional offers. If you apply with predicted grades, you will get a conditional offer. If you apply with your final grades and your SAT or Schweizer, you will get a unconditional offer. So we have 2 types of offers.
Regarding the application channels, shall I done it through email, or can I apply for Jakob through UniAssist?
No, we don't. We work only Common App. Common App is the only way that you can apply for undergraduate admission to us. For graduate admission, we have our own system. It's still not UniAssist. We don't work with UniAssist. For us, all applications are done entirely online. We don't require any paper sent to us.
All right. I think that's what we had for today's QA part. We don't have any question anymore, but oh, sorry, here's another one.
For graduate students, where the internships are a plus or work experience, yes, they are a plus. So if anyone who is a graduate, who is applying for graduate programs, has their work experience already, we recommend that they enclose that in the CV. We also require letters of recommendations for both undergraduate and graduate students. For undergraduate students, this could be teachers or guidance counselor. For graduate students, this could be professors or employers. There is one question about the importance of the recommendation letter. The recommendation letter is quite important because it puts your application into perspective. For example, if you have told us like, oh, I am the best in this and that, and then the teacher writes like, well, he was a good student, but struggled in this and this, like it really gives additional perspective to your application. So here we always tell students, select carefully who is your recommender. They should be truthful, and what you should know, we are not required, and we never share recommendation letters with applicants. So when a professor or a teacher sends a recommendation letter, it's a secret, so the student can never see that. Yeah, thank you as well. Thank you everyone for your attention. I know that you're bombarded with online presentations these days, so I'm really happy and I appreciate it very much that you also had time to join us today and to listen to my presentation. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter, for offering us. It's pretty thorough introduction. Give us a very great overview about what Jakob offered, especially especially for Taiwanese students that will help them either for their preparation to study in Germany or their preparation to applying for university. So hopefully you will see them all in person next year. By the way, what will be the next intake open?
It's spring. So basically, but spring is only foundation year. So the next intake actually is fall 22 in 1 year.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, and see you probably very soon in Taiwan.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.